James, there's a question that comes up quite often with homeowners, and it's whether to sell and move on or to renovate a property. What makes this decision so difficult?
Yeah, that's the most common question I'm coming across is what's happening. The biggest debate I find is people are actually debating if to renovate their house and make it nicer and better, or to actually sell it and get an upgrade, getting a better house. Mm-hmm. And it's the most difficult question they are standing in front of, because each one of those is a whole different scenario. Yeah.
What makes it challenging?
Well, the thing is that it's challenging because if you're going to renovate your home, you're going to make it nice and beautiful, so you can actually set it up to how you want. And also it's really important to see why people want to sell their house and move on. Is it the environment? Is it the school zone? Is it changing life? And the other debate that they have is if they're going to sell it and move on and buy another house, are they going to find their dream house, or they're going to find another project? It's going to be a brand new home or a second home. So there's a lot of debates, lots of thoughts that go through one mind.
Yeah, so I guess there's variable reasons and fixed reasons, right? So it could be a technical aspect, actually renovating the house, if it's about the bedrooms or lifestyle change, or perhaps it's the environment that they want to change, or, we've got situations where kids leave the nest and we want to downsize, or situations where we want to upgrade.
Yeah, so it's really important to first understand what's the problem, what's their concern, what they like or don't like, and even more doing one step before, it's important for people to realize what's the plan, what they are planning to do in the next 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, just to understand. If they want to move in the next 1 or 2 years, it could be a different scenario. If they want to move and stay for the next 10 years, it's a different scenario once again. And also, are they not happy with the house itself? Something in the house bothers them, doesn't suit their needs anymore, or they just had enough from the neighborhood and they just want to try something new. Is it the house is too cold? It could be the sun angles, neighbor's dog, or something that they just don't like, or so some things are more physical, that there could be inside of the property that could be arranged and fixed and renovate, or some of them could be just a different environment that they want to change and refresh.
And I know that at the end of this interview, there's going to be a very interesting question that will rise up from this. Let's talk about your background. I mean, you've worked with homeowners, with developers, with commercial developers for a very long time, over 10 years. I think it's around 12 years now.
Also, yeah.
Tell us about your experience and what do you find really fascinating about this process?
Yeah, so what I'm trying to do, or what I learned through the years, doing more than about 250 renovation for properties, for houses, depend on the situation. Also, we are on a different company. We're buying houses, renovate them, and selling them. So the good thing about it is just the experience of how does the sale process goes, what people think about it, the buyers, the sellers, the banks, the valuator. So taking all of this experience plus my own personal experience is how we managed to help and try to analyze the situation for the vendor of how and what's going to be the best scenario for them. It's like more like a brainstorm session. So
it's optimizing, what you've got, basically. And I guess that with your personal experience beyond the renovation and development of properties, you're also an engineer.
Yeah. Yeah, double degrees, industrial engineering. Yeah, so. And
that gives you that I guess that power of planning, also project management, and seeing beyond. So you've got that perspective of what's next, where a lot of people get stuck in the problem and they can't really look beyond the now. It's try to think about this not as a builder, as try to think about it more as what is the problem and how we can resolve the problem. Solve the problem. Solve the problem. So solving problems is your strength for sure. And you've got great systems in place. I mean, I think one of the things I have seen along the years is the progress and the development of your system, so everything works well together, and you've got like a control panel where you see everything cohesively together.
Yeah.
So most of the time you get a phone call and the homeowner will be in some sort of a dilemma. They might think that they need to move, but they're not 100% sure. What is this dilemma? Can you break it down?
So the dilemma is that they kind of got to a point that they don't like their house, or it doesn't suit their needs. When we go and try to analyze it, we try to understand is if they don't like the environment, they want to change, or is it the house itself that is become too small, the kids have grown up a bit, they want an ensuite or another bathroom because there's too much pressure. And they might debate between improving the house, putting more bathrooms or another bedroom, or just sell it and see how much that costs, or just to sell the property and buy a new house. It's going to be probably bigger or a different style, different location.
So functionality is part of it. Yeah. So let's say you come in and you assess the situation, and they decide to renovate. What happens then?
So if we understand that the reason that they're considering to sell the house is because they don't like the house, the layout, or the functionality, then we'll be sitting down and trying to figure out about their lifestyle, what are their needs, about their kids, future plans, and we'll be sitting down and trying to build a package and to reorganize the house that's going to be more practical for them for the next few years. Sometimes it could be stairs, sometimes it could be access points. And the idea is to try to find and to modify it with the architects and sitting down and city councils, and sometimes it requires building consent, sometimes it doesn't, is to redesign the house is going to suit their needs. So that'll be probably the easier decision.
Right. Yeah. So there will be different scenarios, and I guess that there's a lot of aspects to renovation, and there's a lot of aspects to even selling and buying something new, because you can decide that you're not renovating and buying something new, but then you might need to renovate, so you'll need to pour in money again to improve the new property. So what are those, where do you see the dilemmas there? I mean, someone might say, well, I'm happy to sell, but I actually don't know what I'm going to get into when I start looking. So I guess that the easiest way is to go, I'm going to sell because I'm going to find something new. But you actually can't really predict it 100% unless you found something and then immediately buy it and later on sell your property.
Yeah.
Let's assume that a customer comes to you and decides that they want to sell their property. They have two options. They can sell first and then buy, or they can buy and then sell their property. So can you break this down?
Yeah, so when we see the homeowners having this debate, it's quite an interesting debate because it also have a lot of risk and finance involved with this. The classic scenario where what people are trying to do is they're trying to find a new place, because if you find a new place that you love and you write the sales and purchase agreement and you purchase the property, then you have a very short limited amount of time of say 2 or 3 months that you need to sell your property, because there's a bit of a risk here. And the risk is what happens when you buy a new property, you commit to it, you move into the other new property, and now you got stuck with your old house that you need to sell it and you hope to get a certain amount of money, because if you sell it and you're getting stressed and the market is not great and you sell it for another 100,000 less or 2 or 3, you'll be under a lot of stress. So the financial risk here is quite big, because it's an unknown. It's known for you what you're going to pay for the new house, let's say 1.7, and you think you're going to sell your old property for 1.4, but as a matter of fact you might be selling it for 1.2 or even 1.1. So that's one scenario, and we'll be talking about the condition of those properties in 1 second. Scenario number 2 is it is a bit more conservative, but it involves a little bit of more hassle, is to sell your property first. Then you know exactly how much money you're going to get. you may or may not need to move to a rental for 3 months, 6 months, maybe 9 months. And while you are in a rental, hopefully the market is level. It doesn't go up or doesn't go down. Now you can go and try to find your dream home. Now the risk, financial risk, is a bit slightly less risky, but you will still need to find a property that you like. And if you don't find that property, you got stuck with with no house for a period amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess with the first option, the first situation that you talked about, there's bridging loans, there's a lot of finance, I guess, components to it. And with the second scenario, it's the time, it's the stress, although you become hopefully a cash buyer, so you've got an advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the in a way a great scenario, a great situation to be in, right?
Yeah, exactly. So first scenario, you need to actually have two loans in parallel, like a bridging loan. That's going to be much more expensive, and you'll be under more pressure. So the first one will be more financial pressure. The second option, yes, you'll be a cash buyer that you can put a great offer and get a good deal. But you will also just need to be a bit more jumping between a few houses until you get your perfect house.
Yeah. Or you get into a renovation scenario where you find a house, a property, and build your dream home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move into a scenario where the homeowner decides to sell. You come in and there are several questions come up. Do we need to renovate and sell? So what is the condition of the property? And if they do need to do that, they also need to consider either staying in the property or moving out of the properties. There's another dilemma. So it's like a big, long flow chart. Or they just sell, and that affects, of course, the end result, which is how much money they're going to receive on that sale.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another great dilemma that people are having quite a bit. It's depends on the condition of their property. If the condition of the property is just okay, average, that's one scenario. If it's fully done up, it's nice, it's clean, it's beautiful, or it's like very, very tired and they're going to sell it as a project. So you need to put yourself into the buyer's shoes and think not as from your side, but you need to think from the buyer's shoes. So from the buyer point of view, if your house is basic and run down and you're selling it, what happens is that when it goes to the auction, there's no emotion, there's no big motivation, because you're not selling a final product, you're actually selling them a project. Yep. When you're selling them a project, it means that they don't know exactly what they're getting. They will need to go renovate. They have no idea how much it's going to cost. It's going to be 100, 200, 300,000. They have dilemma. They are not quite sure. If they're not quite sure, they hesitate. When they hesitate, and they go to the auction, the hands doesn't stay up very long, because they, I'm not, no. And you actually selling not a solution, but you're selling them like a project, and they just don't know what to do.
There's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, so all those uncertainty is not going to cause them to go and run to put the top dollar. But from the other scenario, if your property is in a really good condition, like nothing needs to be done, that's good.
Yeah.
But if the property is average and you really want to maximize the selling process, think about like you're trying to sell your old Toyota Corolla. If the car haven't been cleaned for the last 6 months and it looks bad and it's have dust everywhere, people will come to the car and do like, doesn't look so. But if you spend time and energy and you clean the car, you wax it, you wash it inside, shampoo, seats, everything, put some nice smelly things, and people walk inside of it and be, oh, that's really nice. And you put some spray on the tires that look very nice and shiny. Same thing with the property. Exactly the same thing. So if you take the property and you do a very focused, cost-effective renovation to it, and something that we've done several times. Yeah. So what we're actually creating is the whole solution. We're creating the wow effect. We're touching all the things that are actually adding more visual value. And what we're trying to do is to create an emotional competition. So when people go into the auction, and most properties are selling under an auction, people will be exciting and they'll be like competing against it because, wow, it's a very nice, it's a new kitchen and things looks nicer and better. And because you are selling them like a product, a solution, they don't need to think of, okay, how they're going to renovate, where they're going to get the money from. They just take the suitcase and walking in. Second thing that people don't think about it is if someone is buying a property and they're going to pay 1.4 or 1.5 or 1.6, yes, it's 200K different, but it's not a great amount of money when it comes to your weekly payment. It's going to be another, say, $100 per week extra. But for that difference, the vendor, they'll be getting a better return on their property, and they'll be creating more competition. And the person that's going to buy the property, they only need to pay another $100 to $200 per week, and they're getting into a brand new home. So it's easy for them, and people are, most of them try to be a bit lazy, and they like the shortcuts and the easy life. So naturally they'll go for, like a brand new car or a brand new property.
Ready to move in.
And that, ready to move in. That will push the price up on the auction room.
Yeah.
They'll be fighting against it, and that's why the vendor is getting better profits just because of that.
And by watching you all these years, I've seen you do this, like take a rundown property or a bit of a tired property, and with not a huge amount of investment, you upgrade the property to a point where the vendors can actually get a lot more money.
Yeah.
So the return on the investment goes up.
We have seen that on another activity that I do, and trading property.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Like sometimes we buy properties that they are not presented nicely. We do like a massive cleanup. Sometimes it could be like 3 or 4 skips of rubbish, and clean them and prepare them nicely, and suddenly you have a better house, and you put it back to the bucket, and it goes for a better price because people like already walk in, and many people I see them and they just don't sell the property right. And sometimes I see the real estate people not doing a great job to present the house in the best way that it could be. They don't guide the homeowners that take your old toothbrush and put them aside, or take half the content and put it into a storage so the house looks nicer, fresher. And please spend $1,000, get a commercial cleaning company to wash the entire house, windows, everything, shampoo the curtains, the carpets.
Yep.
It's all about presentation.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I mean, when you sell a property, you're selling a vision. You want someone to walk in and see themselves in there. I guess that with investment, it's a little bit of a different mindset. But when it comes to families or individuals, you kind of want to give them the impression of how it's going to be for them living there, and the emotional aspect that you talked about. The kitchen, the bathrooms, we know it. I've been in real estate
of course,
before.
You have lots of experience.
And you could see the emotions, kitchen, bathrooms, photos or no photos on the walls. You gotta give them that sense of connection to the property.
The property needs to be neutral, clean, smells good. Nothing that will give any hints about the type of people. That's why the best thing is to stage a house. You don't want to have like your old grandmother's photo on the wall that some people might like it. Some people might say, I don't want to buy it. It just needs to be nice, clean, and neutral, and also in a great condition, so people can visualize themselves living in the property. And that's when you're selling a property. Now, the other interesting part, and the second part of this equation, is what happened to properties that you are looking to buy.
Yeah.
That's the second part.
Okay, so let's break it down. So you're looking at buying a new property. You decided to sell your current property. You're browsing. You're going every weekend to open homes. Another dilemma comes along the way is, do I want to buy something that is ready to move in, or I'll settle for less, bring you in, and renovate the property?
Yeah. When you buy a property also, it's the same dilemma, because you remember when you're selling the property, you're on one side of the fence, but when you're buying a property, suddenly you change seats.
Change the mindset needs
and
to
now
change.
you are on the other side of the equation. Now you are the guy, you are the buyer. So the question is, what are you going to buy? If you want it for the best price and less competition, you buy something that is run down. Because we bought a lot of rundown property because it's less busy and less competition, so you can get it for a better price. And if the property that you would like to buy, it's been done up, it's nice, it's beautiful, more competition, and when you go to the auction room, you'll be beaten up by another person that is looking for a shortcut. So on those two scenarios, advantage and disadvantage. So when you go and you buy a property that is a do-up, and you need to go and renovate and do the whole thing, the good thing about it is that you can do your own designs, your own kitchen and styles and bathrooms and tiling and how you like it and where you like it. So it's really nice because it's like a fresh, clean start. The other advantage is that you have less competition. It might scare some people. Not everybody have the money, resources and energy to get into renovation, but this is where you have your edge. Now, every property that we have purchased, all of them needed work to be done. That's the magic. And opposite that, if you are buying the property that's already been done up, you can't change the kitchen. Well, you can. You don't want to destroy a brand new kitchen and bathrooms and everything, because then you're throwing money to the bin, and you buy the property for over the market rate because it's been done up nicely, and now you're going to destroy it and rebuild it again. So you'll be like above the market.
Yeah. I found the house of my dreams. I can see the vision. I love it. I really want to live here. I love the environment. I love everything about it. But I haven't got the money to renovate.
Yeah.
What can I do?
Yeah, that's a very good question. That's a very classic dilemma that people are having. So they stretch themselves to a certain amount of money to purchase the property, and then they don't have enough for the renovation, and that's why they holding back. So, firstly, when they're going to purchase the property that needs work, they will get the property under a discount price. And I've seen heaps of property selling for $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 less because the house needs work. So the option that they have is either going to the bank and getting like a renovation loan that's going to be on a higher interest rate, but wait for it, or second tier, using the broker. We also have a relationship with a finance company that they can help to get like a renovation bridging loan. And then
refinancing the property, right?
You use that loan only for about, say, 3 months' time to do the renovation, finish it, and you'll be probably paying a higher interest rate. And once it's finished and you go and you refinance the bank, so before you refinance, you get another valuation. Pretty much every job that we have done, we've seen that after the renovation, the amount of money that they spend on renovation, they got between at least 2 to 3 times more, between 2 and 3 times more than the money they invested in the property. And they're getting their new valuation that's going to be higher. They take it back to the bank, they refinance it, they close the mortgage loan, and they put it on top of their own mortgage, so the interest is going back to a lower rate. So the advantage is that they close the renovation loan, they have a nicer house, they are paying like market rates interest, and the valuation is, for example, it goes higher. So number-wise, for example, if they bought a property for 1.3 and they spend $200K for renovation, it's 1.5. Most likely, depending on the area and depending on how much they purchase it for, the new valuation will be 1.6, 1.7, 1.8.
Wow.
We've seen it heaps of times. Of course, it's not guaranteed, and if he's buying a property in a so-so rundown area and that all the properties are selling for about 1 mil and he bought it for 1.3 mil plus renovation 1.5, so he definitely overcapitalized it. He's not going to get 1.8, so it's also important to buy it on the correct price.
And be realistic, because the market changes as well. So there's a lot of components, there's external components, and as you said, where it's located.
Yeah. So the location, that's where they need to do their...
You always said location, right?
Very important. Because a 4-bedroom house
Yeah.
Depend on the area. So if you're going without putting names and part of the Auckland region, so nobody's getting upset. But if you buy a 4-bedroom house in an area that the bandwidth, there's like a bandwidth, so that 4-bedroom house is sitting on this certain bandwidth. Let's say it's somewhere between 1 to 1.2. That's how much a 4-bedroom house in an area that is just okay. But other area that'll be more premium area or central Auckland, that's what we always recommend and like to work with.
Yeah.
If you buy it in central Auckland, then a 4-bedroom house is going to be between say 1.3 to about 2.3. A 4-bedroom house could have very almost like a $1 million gap between even say 1.5 to 2.5 mil. If you're gonna say half share cross lease of a standalone 4-bedroom house in central Auckland in 2026. So it'll be a big gap. So if you buy the house for about 1.5 and you manage to buy it because the previous owner didn't want to do much about it and he sold it for as a basic house that needs work, and you bought it for 1.5 and you put another say 300, you are on 1.8. But because the 4 bedrooms in that area can reach up to about say 2,
So you're optimizing it.
your new valuation is going to be somewhere around the 2.2 mil.
Yeah.
Happens every day.
Incredible.
And that's how you can buy a property, get it nicely renovated, make money, create more equity, live in a brand new home that's been done for your liking, and increase your equity.
Is there like a rule of thumb here? Like, could you?
Not much. It's just buy a property in an area and neighborhoods that the ceiling is higher. So if you, for example, buy a 4-bedroom house in Hearns Bay, everybody knows that in Hearns Bay you can have properties for 3 million, 4 million, 5 millions.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Difference is the property, how it's been presented, what's the quality of the interior. That's what makes a difference. That's why there's a big gap.
Yeah, you can leverage for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about a scenario where the homeowner is already sold, they've bought a new property. They've got two options. They can either move in and then decide to renovate, or they can renovate and then move in. So tell me a little bit about that kind of scenario, because it's two scenarios, and what are the dilemmas that you come across, and what is the process?
When they just sold their property or let's say find a new property that they like, that needs renovation, need a job, and they bought it for a good price because of that scenario. So the dilemma people have mostly is like, okay, shall we just move to the house as it is and just live there and try to figure out what to do, or shall we renovate it now and then move to a brand new home? It's a classic dilemma that I also getting asked quite a bit. So let's start with the first option, and advantage and disadvantage. So if they're moving to the house that needs work, yes, perhaps they do have more time to think about it, to get the vibe of the house, to see how they feel about it, and then maybe saving money and then renovate it in maybe 1 or 2 years. In those scenarios, what is probably happening is that, first of all, in 1 or 2 years, prices unfortunately keeps crawling up. Then in another option, they kind of getting used to the property, and their dream was to renovate it, but because they are busy and the kids and stuff and mortgages and or going overseas, eventually they find out themselves not renovating the property, or sometimes they try to do a little bit at the time, just the bathroom, just the kitchen. The thing that they don't realize is when they're trying to just renovate the kitchen, it means they will have no kitchen, and they're going to be living in a construction site for about a month or so, and that's highly not recommended, not healthy, not great. Like our team is a big team, it's about 50 plus people. Imagine
coming in and out.
Yeah, imagine yourself 50 people coming in and out at random times, and you have everything around you. That is very uncomfortable and not healthy for everyone. And then many times I hear that the hubby, he's going to do things by himself and fix this and fix that. Those are the classic one that I've seen, and they never finish their renovation and their improvements and they're living in that construction site for the next 5 to 10 years. The other scenario, other options is if they decided to go and renovate it before they moving in, and that's our highest recommendation, regardless of how they're going to do it, is that gives them the options to sit down. What we do with our customers, we sit down and we understand their ideas, dreams, designs, thoughts. We have an interior designer. We will be building a very nice package for them based on their needs. And once all the T's has been crossed and we know exactly what they want and how they want, and we design everything, then renovation starts on an empty house. We can move way quicker. It'll be more cost effective and cheaper. Then all the job has been done, and then once it's finished, all been presented nice, clean with bubbles and chocolate. They just move in and really started to enjoy the new house. It's been done to their liking, and that's the scenario that most people are selecting because they're just getting the very nice walk-in experience.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Common perception is that renovation takes time. There might be delay with supply, and the price might go up, and there'll be a lot of changes. So you need to kind of always have a little bit of a buffer, another 5 to 10 to 20%, because women like myself, we can change our mind several times. You've probably been in this scenario before where people even change their mind throughout the renovation. But walk me through this. So, I mean, is it a valid claim, or usually because of the systems in place that you guys have got, it goes quite smooth and you will expect to walk into your new home on time with less stress and continue living your life?
No, that's good, and this really depends on the person and the program. So if you jumping into a project and you're not quite sure and you decide to change your mind, and people are okay, let's have the kitchen here, maybe we'll have it pink, maybe we turn things around. This is where things going really bad and very, very wrong. We don't start any project until everything will be fully designed, and we'll be going through the design and go to the kitchen company multiple times and selecting all the materials until you know what the color of the silicone in the bathroom is going to be, and everything's been written down and it's all been nicely presented, and then we know exactly how much it's going to cost. Then we start the job. So I can tell you from 250 jobs that we've done so far, all of them are getting finished on time and on budget. So our budget is going to be like a fixed price. Those numbers do not move unless if halfway through the job customer changing the mind, and we're making sure that will not happen, because we checking things properly up front multiple times until everybody's very relaxed and they know exactly what they're getting. And if everything is known by the time we start the job, you can go to Fiji, enjoy a very nice long vacation of 2 months, and by the time you come, that'll be just beautifully as you have ordered it. It'll be nice and ready for you to just walk in and enjoy.
Fantastic.
Because you know exactly, and we know what's going to happen. We don't guess.
And that's where systems come into place, and sign-offs and clarity for the client is really important, as for yourself. So everyone is coordinated and the work goes smoothly.
Yeah, that's the main key, and that's why we're having close to 100 5-star reviews in Google's, and whatever we do, we take a board, it's going to be just, great job. And it's good for the clarity. And I had customer asking me and going to the banks, let's say it was a 200K job, and the bank says, okay, we will price it for 270,000. And I said, well, you don't need 270, it's 200. And the guys from the bank says, yeah, on average, renovation is crawling up by about 30%. And I said, maybe, but I'm not aware about that one. Unfortunately, in the market, it does happen. And the average, the price of differences is about 30%. That's the market.
30%.
30%. Yeah.
That's incredible achievement, I think, for you guys. So you've got the trust, the clarity, the process, everything aligned. There's no surprises.
I don't recommend to,
except the chocolate on the counter, right?
I don't recommend to anyone to work with any builder, construction, or company unless if they know exactly what they're getting into. And unfortunately, in this market, quite a few renovators, they just want to get the deal and just jump in and she'll be right and this, that, and that's how everything's going wrong, to be honest.
Well, one thing I learned from you is do it once and do it right.
Yeah. Do it once, do it right, and get it over with. That's it.
Fantastic.
As simple as that.
Yeah, correct. Many times people want to buy property. They go into open homes. They're not sure. The real estate agent doesn't know the answers, how much it's going to cost them, what is necessary to renovate, what is a must.
Yeah.
Would you consider walking through with a potential buyer, walking through the property and giving them that advice so they can actually take into consideration the renovation and if they can actually go through the process at all?
Yeah, that's like almost like a full-time job. we do help, and we do get phone calls from potential people that are trying to buy property and to see what they can do with it. So those things do happen. We do give people support over the phone or looking at the listings, and if it's necessary, sometimes we go to the site with them. It's also important for them to come to a position that if they're putting an offer and it's an offer base, that they'll have a condition, and during the condition they will do their due diligence, and that's where we can actually jump
in the sell and purchase agreement.
Yeah. And then when they are under a contract and they have 5 days for due diligence, that's like a really great time because they know what they're going to pay for it, and then we can go there and do a walkthrough and find a scenario, a solution, and what's the best way to go forward.
Wonderful. From everything you've seen along the years, what are the biggest mistakes? Let's put 3 in place, 3 mistakes that homeowners do when they're making that decision, when they come into that crossroad of shall I sell and renovate prior? Shall I sell and just find a new property? Or shall I renovate my property and stay for another 5 to 10 years in this property? What are those mistakes that you see in the decision-making process?
Yeah, I think the classic mistakes that I've seen people, let's start with selling a property.
Mistake 1.
Mistake number 1. When people are trying to sell the property, they can't be bothered. And they're just selling it as is, whatever it is, with all the stuff and all the mess around it. Yeah. And they just think, well, someone will just come and give us an offer and whatever. Big mistake. You just don't sell a property like that. It needs to be done up nicely, even if it's not in a great condition. It still could be done some basics like removing all curtains or changing the carpets or doing some paint job or just doing some refreshment.
I call it a facelift. A little facelift.
Yeah, a facelift. They do have the capacity. It's always better for them to move to another property, refresh the property a little bit, doing bits and pieces, and then staging it. And so not staging the property, living in the property while trying to sell it, never works really well. And I know it's a hassle. I know that. Mistake number 2. They are buying a property and without doing a proper check. So they haven't done a building inspection, they don't know what they're getting, and they have no idea how much the improvement is going to cost like. And after they purchase the property, they realize that they need about $300,000 for renovation improvements. They haven't checked the foundation, that they have some cracks or movements, the house is... So getting a building inspection, always, it's a must. Getting an idea of improvements and renovation, that's also very important to avoid the misunderstood. So that's definitely something that it's a must. Mistake number 3, or tip number 3, I came across people that have bought a new property, renovated or not, and moved in, and still have not sold their old house. Either it didn't get sold because of the condition or because of the price, and then they got themselves really financially stressed because now they're having 2 mortgages. House is empty, they moved to the new house, there's no income, and they need to pay a mortgage for $2 million, and that's very, very uncomfortable. So they'll be getting more stress. Try to sell it under stress. It's mean that they will be more negotiable with the price, and then they will just lose money, and that's not great, not nice.
No, definitely servicing two properties is very, very stressful.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you, James. That was so insightful. So much experience in the last 12 years, renovating, developing property and working with homeowners. new buyers. Let's summarize because there's so much information here and break it down for our audience.
So I guess if we try to, because we discuss on so many different topics and many what-if scenario, so let's run it very quickly from the beginning to the end. So when you have a property that you are going to sell, if the property is in a really great condition, that's good. The best optimal scenario is for you to minimize the items in the property, get it half staged, and put it to the market and get the best price. If the property is in a rundown situation and you're trying to sell it as a project, you will not be getting your maximized amount of dollar. You'll be selling a project. It means that people will negotiate the price down in the auction room because there's no emotion. So this is on the part of selling your property. Now, if we're changing hats and you go to buying a property after we have dealt with your current house. Now, if your current house is in a situation that you like the area, the house just doesn't suit anymore, you need more bathroom, you have more bedroom or any of those things, then it's probably more valid for you to improve the property and then stay in the property and live inside of it and enjoy. So you don't always need to sell a house because it's a lot of risk swapping house. That's the highest risk. If you renovate your own home and you're getting a free fixed price of say 200k, 300k, you know that's what it's going to be. You know what you're going to get. The risk is very limited. Let's say we have decided to sell the house and we either renovate it or sell it as is. Now we're buying a new house. So what's happened here? Again, to make it very simple, I have three scenario. Let's add another scenario. So now you buy a brand new home from a developer and it's beautiful, there's nothing to do. You just walk inside, it's brand new. Advantage, yes, it's a great house. Disadvantage, lots of hands in the auction room. It's a brand new Mercedes-Benz. You're going to be paying premium, and the moment you walked into the property, the value of the property is not going to go up. It just keep staying or even go down because the house is going to get used. The in-between scenario that the property is, it's okay, it's reasonable, you're happy, you might just change carpet and paint, do a very light refreshment for the property, and then move in and enjoy it. In that case, you'll be paying just okay market rate because everyone can do that and it's not too hard. The smart buyers, they will be buying a random property because in that case they can modify it to their liking. They will buy it under a heavy discount price. We bought a property in Devonport that the valuation then zero was 1.5 mil.
Wow.
Okay, we bought it for 1 mil and 50. So we bought $450,000 just because of the presentation, that it was a rundown house that needs lots of work. So back to you. You buy a property that is in a very basic condition. You do it as you like it, to your liking. You buy it way below market rate. You add your renovation. You get your 2 or 3 times more on the valuation after you finish the renovation. You move in. There's less stress because the house is empty. As soon as you got the keys, the house is empty. You don't need to pack, unpack. It's a lot of hassle. And you finish the renovation, refinance it, new valuation, enjoy the equity, move inside of it. Perfect house.
Done. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Just before we wrap up, what would be your last piece of advice for our audience?
Okay, because everybody is so great, I won't give you one, I'll give you 2. So the first one, you make your money when you buy the property. So you buy it well and you buy it for the right price, and that's how you make your money. The second thing that you can actually inflate yourself, you can't inflate the purchase price. The second thing is when you add value. This is our passion, adding value, it's the best thing. So when you add the value into the property, you refinance it, that's how you make your equity. And that equity will go with you for the many years to come because it increase the amount of wealth you have. Buy it right, add value. Simple. That's it.
If a homeowner wants to have a chat with you, get your advice, what is the process?
Well, it's pretty simple. Like everyone can send an email and all the rest of it, but we're very down to earth. Like you have something, there's a debate, pick up the phone, give me a phone call. I'm chatty. We'll have a chat and see what we can do and what's the best scenario is going to be for them. That'll be the best. Just give me a call and that's it.
And you might end up sitting and having a conversation with us here.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Good. So thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Buy well, add value, enjoy your property. Your house is your castle. And take care. Thanks a lot. James here from the Renovation team.
And Karen, we'll see you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.